All right, so at this time, I will entertain a motion to come back into open session.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Knox, supported by Mr. Vinatelli. Comments, questions, or concerns? Hearing none, could you call the roll?
Ms. Knox,
Yes.
Mr. Vinatieri,
Yes.
Mr. Sunnyberger,
Yes.
Mr. Powers.
Yes.
Richards, yes. Mr. Green,
Yes, motion carries. At this time, I would entertain a motion to adjourn our first meeting that started at 6 o'clock.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Knox, supported by Mr. Vinatelli. Questions, comments, or concerns? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. That meeting is adjourned at 7:04 PM. And moving forward, are we being recorded over there, sir? Perfect, thank you. I will call to order the regular Board of Education meeting of October 22nd, 2025 at 7 PM. I would ask you all to stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Richards, could you call the roll call attendance, please?
Mr. Sunnyberger,
Here.
Mr. Powers,
Here.
Ms. Berkmeyer,
Excused?
Mr. Vinatieri,
Here.
Mr. Richards is here, Ms. Knox.
Here.
And Mr. Green.
Here. We have a quorum. We will begin the meeting by swearing in our new student representative. That student representative is Madison Borg, a senior at Anchor Bay High School. So if you'll meet me out front, we'll get you sworn in. So if you know, I can read you the whole thing, you can recite it back, or we can go line by line. What are you comfortable with? All right, me too, that's all I got it. All right, raise your right hand. I, Madison Borg, solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States
I, Madison Borg, solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
faithfully discharge the duties of the Office of Student Board Member.
faithfully discharge the duties of student board member
And in and for the School District of Anchor Bay,
in and for the School District of Anchor Bay,
State of Michigan,
State of Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Participating in the picture. Actually, you guys all need to get up. Come on, let's get a picture. Yes. Congratulations. All right, well, nothing like being put in the hot seat right away after you've been sworn in, but we will go to you for our Student Congress update.
Sounds Sounds good.
and welcome aboard.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Wait, can you hear me? Okay. Okay, thank you. All right. I would like to thank the board and Superintendent Jankowski for this opportunity. I really appreciate it, and I'm really excited to serve with you guys this year. I'm going to start with our building update from Lighthouse Elementary. Lighthouse hosted a Monster Mash book bash yesterday. They also held their color run on October 3rd. The building made their fundraising goal, and as a reward, the students get bounce houses next week. From Lottie Elementary, they will be holding a Spirit Week next week, and the students recently participated in the Feed the Bay food drive. From McCants Elementary, they took their annual bear stroll took place yesterday. This is the school's yearly fundraiser, and students enjoyed completing laps around the field, riding a hayride tractor. They also had a DJ and got to play on the playground. The building rep reported that after talking to several students around the building, students report they are happy with their teachers, specials, and also feel the school is a safe place to be. They brought in 700 food pouches for Feed the Bay, and Mrs. DeJorio's class won for the most fruit pouches collected and won a pizza party. Nalder Elementary held their trunk or treat on October 17th. The Feed the Bay food drive collected over 1,000 cans of Chef Boyardee, and students will be participating in a Halloween parade on October 31st at 10 a.m. Middle School North will be holding a school dance on November 7th. On Halloween, they will be having a costume contest at lunch, and their students also recently participated in the Feed the Bay food drive. Middle School South held a new student breakfast on September 26th to welcome all new students to the building. They collected 3,800 boxes of cereal for their Feed the Bay food drive. Mr. Gainfield, Mrs. Taylor, and Mrs. Snyder's classes had the most donations. They will be holding a pep assembly on Halloween with games and rewards, and their National Junior Honor Society induction is being held tonight. At the high school, they are currently doing a Socktober sock drive. NHS is doing a fundraiser at Buffalo Wild Wings on November 5th, and the student council is attending leadership training at the MISD on Monday.
Great, thank you. All right, moving on the agenda, item D. At this time, I would entertain an approval of the agenda as it has been presented.
Mr. Green, before we do that, I have a couple of items I want to discuss about this agenda, if I may.
Absolutely.
First of all, item 7 under new business, we've already denied that appeal, and we did it just a few short months ago by a vote of 7-0. If you read the background check, the same items that tripped that application a few months ago are still there. If you read the appeal letter, it looks to be a word-for-word duplication of the appeal letter that that individual wrote to us back then. And the same 7 people who voted 7-0 to deny it are still board members today. So I'm not quite sure why we're going to relitigate something that we've already resoundingly denied.
Well, before we move on to that, I didn't catch that. Is that in fact accurate?
Well, yeah, they're allowed to appeal every,
As many times as they want.
at least once a year, yes.
So we do this today, we're covered for the 25-26 school year?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure everybody was aware that we had already done that and it wasn't an oversight. Because I didn't catch it the first time. When I reread it, I said, why does this seem familiar? So, okay. Second, I'd like to have the personnel report pulled from the consent agenda, if I may. And then third, we are going into closed session later this evening for what I understand is up to 4 student discipline hearings. We know from experience that each one of those is likely to take upwards of an hour, if not more. We have a stacked agenda tonight. We have an audit presentation. We have 7 items of new business, and then we have those 4 closed session hearings. We know this is going to be a very late night that goes probably well into the early hours of the morning. I'd like to propose that we amend the agenda and move the closed session up after the consent agenda, but before new business. My reasons are, as I previously stated, we're going to be here late, but that doesn't mean that everybody has to be. I'm assuming that most of these parents have to work in the morning. They may have other students at home that have school. And I see we also have staff here, which we're going to want to be at work in the morning and ready to go. So I don't see the need to make the families and our staff sit here and watch us do policy readings and go through asphalt bids and approve field trips and things like that if we can get them home at a better hour. So I'd like to move that we amend the agenda to make closed session item 2 and then drop new business down to item 3.
All right, so I've got a motion on the floor to move student discipline closed section up from number 3 up to, I guess essentially right after the consent agenda, correct, sir?
Yes.
Do I have a second? Last call for a second.
I'll second.
All right. All right. I've got a motion by Mr. Powers, supported by Mr. Richards. I think, Mr. Powers, you've made your points clear of why you wanted to do that.
I have, and I'll just add to that. I don't, and I'm more than willing to have my mind changed on that. I don't see where it kind of takes away anybody's rights or affects the outcome. It's simply a matter of convenience for the families and the students and the staff that are here. If they don't see it as a convenience, if they don't want it moved, I'm not doing this for me or for us. We're going to be here the same amount of time, no matter what order we go in. This is simply being done for their convenience and their convenience only. So if that case cannot be made, you won't hurt my feelings if you turn down my motion to amend the agenda.
Yeah, I just have a quick question about that, and maybe Mr. Superintendent, you could probably help us out with this. Is there staff here with regards to the items that are on the new business section of the agenda?
Well, yes, there are some that are there for that, but also the hearings, we tell the families that an anticipated time, which is not until after 8 p.m. So,
Okay.
So do you feel like your parents aren't all here?
no, they are not.
Okay, if that will create a problem, I will rescind. I was simply trying to do this to help people not be here any later than they need to be. So
You're rescinding your motion?
I will rescind the motion and I will make a motion to approve the agenda as written with the removal of the personnel report from the consent agenda.
Mr. Richards, are you okay with taking back your support of the change?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so then I've got a new motion on the floor from Mr. Powers to approve the agenda. Do I have a second for that?
I'll second that.
All right, motion by Mr. Powers, supported by Mr. Vinatelli. Comments, questions, or concerns? Hearing none, sir, if you could call the roll.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Mr. Vinatelli,
Yes.
Mr. Sunnyberger,
Yes.
Richards, yes. Ms. Knox,
Yes.
Mr. Green,
Yes. Motion carries. Item E on our agenda is an audit presentation. I believe that Mr. Rathbun and Dan from our auditing firm have a presentation for us.
Good evening, Board. Tonight, we have Dan Merritt here from the audit firm Raymond. As you are aware, October is typically the month we wrap up our annual audit. So we have Dan here to kind of go through and talk to you about how that audit went and where we ended up financially for the year. This is an independent audit that is engaged by the board. So an opportunity to have someone else come in and kind of review our finances and make sure that our finances are accurate. So with that, I will turn it over to Dan.
Good evening, members of the board. Thank you for having me. I will attempt to be brief with respect to the many other things you have going on, but I want to be clear that it's been the longstanding practice of the board to have a very detailed presentation of the finances at Finance Committee. And so the fact that I'm being brief here tonight does not mean that there isn't full consideration given to the results of the annual audit by the board. As Todd mentioned, my name's Dan Merritt. I'm from the CPA firm Raymond. Raymond is a firm that specializes in doing local government audits, including school districts. We do approximately 50 school district audits at our firm within the state of Michigan each year. Every school district that receives state funding is required to get an audit by MDE as a precondition of getting that state funding. And so we present annually on the results of that audit to evidence that the district has met its compliance requirements. The most important thing I'm here to communicate tonight is that we've given an unmodified opinion on the 2025 financial statements for the district. That's called a clean opinion in the audit business. It means that we believe that the financial statements can be relied upon, are appropriate and proper to submit to MDE. We're also required to talk about accounting pronouncements and accounting estimates. We are required to review those as a part of the audit, and we reviewed the good work done by the finance department and deemed all of it reasonable. Items 4, 5, and 6 are basically our discussion of how the audit went, right? What were the results? Did we encounter any difficulties? Were there any misstatements which we were required to correct during the audit? And did we have any findings, either internal control deficiencies or otherwise during the audit? So if a clean audit is an unmodified opinion, then maybe a clean audit with no findings is a, let's call it a squeaky clean opinion. The district has had a very clean opinion with no findings for the last several years and continues to do a very good job in its prudent financial management. We also do what's called a single audit for the district every year. If you receive more than 750,000, moving up to $1 million threshold next year in federal funding, which the district does annually, you're required to have a single audit of all of those federal awards. I'll talk more about this in a second, but we expect to issue a clean opinion on the single audit shortly. A very brief overview of financial position. School districts in Michigan are generally recommended to have a sustainable fund balance of approximately, I call this a floor, right? This is not the range at which you should be at. The floor is about 10 to 15%. Why is that? Because you have 2 months during the year where you don't get state aid. So you need to have at least a floor cushion. Otherwise, you end up having to borrow and the district has to pay. And by the district having to pay, the constituents have to pay for those additional borrowing costs. So it's good to have at least a floor of that much. This is a quick review of the 10-year fund balance history by percentage for the school district. You can see that the school district, after being quite low right before the COVID years, has stabilized at a more acceptable and more stable percentage of approximately 25% in FY 24-25. Now, of that percentage, not all of it is necessarily unrestricted. So we calculate what's called a general fund coverage ratio. You'll notice that on the previous slide, there's 25% that's total fund balance, but a substantial portion of that the district has already committed for future projects such as capital investment. And so the percentage which is unrestricted is slightly lower, but again, a good stable percentage that reflects the prudent financial management that the district has engaged in over the last several years and the investment of its finance staff in making sure that the results are proper. Finally, 1 or 2 slides talking about the recent updates to the state budget. Finally, we have a state budget passed for the state school aid fund. We saw a 4.6 increase in the foundation allowance, as well as increases in other areas like at-risk, continuing technical education, and food service. I think on the whole, this will probably end up being a good positive budget for most school districts. I think there was an addition of $1.19 billion to the total school aid fund across the state. That's what we like in order for you to continue to renew buildings, pay teachers. With inflation, as costs go up, you need to have revenue matching that goal. So good to see that the state finally managed to pass the school aid budget recently. And then a brief discussion of how the recent federal funding, recent federal shutdown affects your federal funding. I mentioned earlier that we are planning to issue the single audit for the school district. Normally at this time, the single audit would already be issued, but until the OMB issues the rules that govern single audits, we can't actually issue that audit. So while the federal government remains shut down, those audit reports are delayed. However, we are 99.99% done with the audit, and as soon as the federal government comes back and issues the final rules, we expect to issue the report. That's the end of my prepared comments for this evening, but I'm more than happy to take any questions that anyone on the board may have about the audit.
So I'll open it up to the board. Comments, questions, concerns?
How many of these audits do you perform a year?
Personally, I believe I do 10, and then as a firm, we do approximately 50.
And out of those audits, how many districts do you see having these same results, like on page 3, line item 4, 5, and 6?
I think I have maybe 2 districts that receive reliably. All my districts eventually receive clean opinions because the state requires you to ultimately get to a clean opinion. You can't have a qualified opinion. You just have to keep working with us until we're comfortable. But districts that have clean opinions and no findings, no recommendations, no comments, you're kind of put into the A-level tier at that point. So I would say that speaks to the experience and the effort put in by the finance staff here at Anchor Bay.
Thank you.
Jamie?
Can you give me 2 things we're doing great and 2 things that need to be on our radar?
I think what should be on everybody's radar is just the upcoming challenges with federal funding. is one thing. We just don't know where this administration is going to be at in terms of either. I think they're not going to be increasing federal funding. I think wherever you are in federal funding right now, I think that's probably where you're going to be, or maybe down in 2 years. So that's one. The other thing that I think needs to be on your radar and has been on the district's radar, and we talked about this during Finance Committee, was the COVID funding cliff, and what a good job the district has done navigating the COVID funding cliff. I mean, we saw a lot of districts in Southeast Michigan have budget imbalances, and Anchor Bay managed to avoid that. And I think that the thing that the district does really particularly well is just that they are very, very organized when it comes to financial information. There are literally hundreds of things which they're required to provide to me and my team for our audit. It takes us approximately 200 to 300 hours to complete an audit. I usually estimate it takes twice that many hours from the financial team to prepare for the audit. So the district has done a laudable job in being prepared and organized for the audit over the last several years.
Anyone else? I do only have one comment. It's the same comment I make every time you come out and speak to me. I want to thank Mr. Rathbun and Mr. Andazzo and their teams. I know, as you already mentioned, how many hundreds of hours goes into this just preparing for the audit. But if we didn't do things the other, 10 or 11 months of the year, that wouldn't make that possible. So
You end up paying for it on the back end.
yeah,
We-
thank you guys very much, and your teams very much. I know I say it every year, but I am very, very well aware of what it takes to keep an 80 to $90 million budget in line and be able to produce results that will allow our auditor to show up and publicly say that we have a clean audit. So thank you for your time on that and your effort, to your teams as well. Anyone else, anything else? All right, hearing none, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Safe travels. We will move on to hearing of the public. Those who wish to address the board on agenda items may complete a brief request stating their name, address, and the subject of their comments. Remarks about specific employees should be directed to those employees personally and not included in the public forum. Administration will follow up with concerns within 48 hours of the board meeting. Participants will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. And tonight, I will be stopping you at 3 minutes. We have a very lengthy agenda, as Mr. Powers mentioned, so please manage your time. Set yourself a clock when you get to the podium, because 3 minutes goes by a lot faster than you think. So with that said, I will begin with Jamie P.
Good evening. My name is Jamie Petron. I'm the current ABEA president, and I have been for the past 10 years. I don't know about you, but when I was younger and I did something wrong, even worse than the punishment my parents would hand out was the disappointment that I would have caused them. I'm here today because I'm disappointed. 125 days. It took the district 125 days to wrap up an investigation regarding an intruder at ABHS the last day of school. Well, at least I think it was 125 days. I'm not sure, because my inquiries about the situation have been ignored. This investigation included interviewing high school teachers about their recollection of the last day, last hour of the 2024-25 school year. While I understand we had summer break and staff might not be available to interview right away, there was zero urgency to wrap this up once school started. In fact, I inquired many times about the intent of the investigation and reasons teachers, at least the ones who didn't leave the district over the summer, were being interviewed. I was never given an answer. At one interview, we were told it was to tighten up security protocols. But then there were follow-up interviews scheduled without our safety director, and once again, no one would give me a straight answer as to the reasons why they were happening. Different administrators showed up to conduct the interviews. The inconsistencies actually became comical. Having a former student in the building for over 20 minutes without a lockdown call because we were told in one of the interviews it was an exam day is absurd. Is this factual? I don't know, because my communications have gone ignored. Disappointing. Over the last several months, I began to feel that the issues and concerns I've brought forth as the ABA president have been shrugged off. In fact, several times I've been flat out told I was wrong and instead must have some sort of narrative to prove. Why I personally hate the word gaslighting, I have to say I started questioning myself. I guess people tend to feel that way when they don't feel valued or respected. Disappointing. I am proud that the ABA has a strong relationship with the school board. A new day in the Bay. That didn't just happen. It took collaboration and hard work from all the parties. That being said, let it be known, I will never be strong-armed into not having open and honest conversations with board members who want to have them. Furthermore, I am not the only teacher in this district who speaks to members of the board. You all know your role, what you know, what topics are open to discussion and those that are confidential. I, for one, am grateful to have open dialogue when necessary. That is how problems are solved. I am the president of the union, and I'm also a stakeholder who's been here a really long time. I have valuable insight into what those of us in the trenches are experiencing. Furthermore, I wouldn't have to need to speak to the board about issues if I was given the simple common courtesy of acknowledgement that said issues do actually exist. I would love it if we could stop being reactive and start being proactive like I know we can be. Thank you.
All right, next is Christina R.
Good evening. I wanted to come to the podium tonight, not with a concern, but with gratitude. I think this podium should be a place where honesty about concerns, growth, and progress and partnership can take place for the greater good of all students. Tonight, I come before you from a place of gratitude as me and fellow special needs parents brought a concern forth about safety concerns for our CI students, in particular at Naldrit. While participating at Naldrit's trunk or treat event, I was ecstatic to see a fence had been installed. Me and other parents are very grateful to see our concerns were taken seriously and appreciate the promptness to get that in place. Now, knowing that there is work to be done at Naldrit, I wanted to know if this was the final step or if that was a temporary fence. Thank you.
Thank you. And last is Alyssa B.
Good evening. Good evening. I am here tonight to speak on my behalf because I have tried getting put on the approved volunteer list for my kids' school. I was denied the request because of a charge on my background record back in 2013. There is truly no excuse for my actions then, and I took my consequences for those actions. I was young, 19 years old when this occurred, and had no children. I am now 32 with a 9, 8, 6, and 10-month-old. I take pride in how I have changed my life around after having kids and doing some growing up, and it breaks my heart that this charge is holding me back from being able to be there for my kids at school functions and field trips. So I'm here tonight not asking you to look past what I've done, but see that I am just a mom trying to not let my past define who I am now and be there for my kids during their fun memories at school. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to item 1 on our agenda, the consent agenda, which will consist of the approval of the minutes from the September 24th, 2025 board meeting, the financial report, and the bills payable for September 2025. I would entertain a motion to that effect.
Before we do that, there is an error in the minutes from last month.
Could you correct them for us?
Mr. Richards has me voting no for the food portion of that meeting.
Which portion, Jamie?
The food service resolution. I have never been anti-food in my whole life, and I have never voted against food.
So we inaccurately recorded on the minutes that you voted no.
You did, yes.
You meant to vote yes. So
I
then,
went back and watched the tape.
and I'm, okay. So I would entertain a motion then to approve the consent agenda with the modification as indicated by Mr. Sunnyberger.
I'll make the motion.
I'll support it.
All right then. Motion by Ms. Knox, supported by Mr. Sunnyberger. Comments, questions, or concerns? Hearing none, could you call the roll, sir?
Ms. Knox.
Yes.
Mr. Vinatieri,
Yes.
Mr. Sunnyberger,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Richards, yes. Mr. Green,
Yes. Motion carries. All right, we pulled out, Mr. Powers requested the personnel report be pulled out, which he can do, or any other member of the board can do without a vote of the board. So with that, sir, I will turn it over to you
Yeah,
for discussion.
couple things, and it shouldn't take long. it appears that on September 29th, we hired a new aquatic center coordinator. And then it appears the next day, September 30th, they resigned. Is that accurate? And can we get some clarification on what happened there?
Basically, he started the position and then he was also looking at taking grad classes. And then
I'm sorry, what class?
he was looking to take grad classes. So he was kind of,
Okay.
whether he wanted this position, then he was also looking to go back to school. And he thought that he got accepted to go to school, that he would not be able to maintain both of those. So he chose to go back to school.
Okay, so he literally resigned the day after he started?
Yes.
And nothing in the interview or anything like that, like caused us to think that may happen, like that we were caught off guard by that?
Somewhat, yes, because at the beginning of the day, he was happy, but then I think this grad school thing kind of came through and he's like, okay, now do I do that?
Okay. I guess, and the other reason I pulled it is this personnel report. I think we need to have a discussion as a board about what our role is in this thing every month. And I don't think tonight's the night for that, but I realize 90% of what's in here is kind of the nuts and bolts of running a school district day to day. We don't need to be involved with that. That's not our role. But I think that when there's hires that hit a certain level, and like in this case, an administrator level position, I think it's appropriate for us as board members to have more information regarding what's going on with some of these hires. I think we owe it to the students, the staff, the teachers, certainly the community that put us here to know what we're voting on. And there just seems to be like a rubber stamp element to this thing. And I'm not the only board member, based on my conversations, who feels that way. Mr. Green, if you could put it on your radar, whether it's at our winter planning meeting or another time, to have a conversation as a board about whether or not we're happy with our role in this personnel report. And if it's just me, then it's just me. But I think I'm not the only one. And I think we'd like to be a little bit more involved in terms of the flow of information on some of this stuff before it shows up as a line item on a spreadsheet and it's slipped into a consent agenda and it's just hurry up and vote on it. That's it. Thank you. And with that, I'll actually make a motion to approve the consent agenda as written. I'm not looking to hold it up. I just wanted to put that on your radar as something we should probably plan to discuss at some point.
We already approved the consent agenda, correct?
I'm sorry, approve the personnel report. We pulled it from the consent agenda. Misspoke.
All right, so I have a motion to approve the personnel report. Do I have a support?
I'll support.
With a motion and a support?
I'd like just to add a comment to Mr. Powers' comment. He mentioned the hiring piece of it. I'd also like to get some more information on the resigning piece of it as well. We talked about exit interviews. I think we should, be more proactive and, things that I'd like to have exposure to, as well as, if we're losing staff that is not retiring, just having more information on, the reasoning why they're resigning or going to other districts and things like that.
So I agree, and I will get with Superintendent Jankowski and we'll figure out if the next board meeting is the appropriate time, or if we want to push that back till we meet. I think in January is our board retreat this year. We haven't picked a date yet, have we?
No, not yet.
So if it gets pushed too far back, if we start talking about February, March dates, then we'll bring it back to the board sooner to have a discussion about it. I agree. So I've got a motion and a second. Any other comments? Hearing none, I would ask you to call the roll for approval of the personnel report.
The second was made by Mr. Vinatelli, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Mr. Vinatelli,
Yes.
Mr. Sunnyberger,
Yes.
Mr. Richards is a yes. Ms. Knox,
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes, motion carries. Moving on to item 2, new business. We're going to approve the audits. Next up, as you heard, the representative from Raymond will present audit results to the Board of Education for consideration and acceptance. Included in the independent auditor's report is a clean or unmodified opinion, which is the highest level of assurance possible for the district's financial statements. In addition, the auditors found no internal control issues and stated that the financial statements are presented fairly in all material aspects. So as such, I would entertain a motion that the Board of Education approve the 2024 and 2025 audit as presented.
A motion.
I'll second.
I'm sorry, I missed who was the motion by? Motion by Mr. Sunnyberg, supported by Ms. Knox. Comments, questions, or concerns? Hearing none. Mr. Richards?
Mr. Sunnyberger,
Yes.
Ms. Knox,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Mr. Vinatieri,
Yes.
Richards, yes. Mr. Green,
Yes. Motion carries. Item number 2, Principal Appreciation Resolution. Would you like me to read the whole resolution, Mr. Superintendent?
yes.
All right, fair enough.
Mr. Green, before you do that, I want to alert you to a clerical error. At the end, it says that we do hereby proclaim October 2021 as Principals Month. I'm assuming we want to recognize this year's principals and not those from 4 years ago. Although if we missed them, we should do that as well.
No, I'm pretty sure we did it every year moving along till today. So I have noted that on my copy. The resolution reads as follows. A regular meeting of the Board of Education of the district, the board, was held at McDonald Elementary in the district on the 22nd day of October, 2025 at 7 p.m. The meeting was called to order by President Green. The following preamble will now be read into the record, and then I will solicit a motion and a support. Whereas energetic and inspiring school leadership is essential to Anchor Bay schools in order to prepare students for success, both during their pre-K 12 years and beyond. And whereas principals are entrusted with the educational development of young people and serve as educational visionaries, instructional leaders, assessment experts, community builders, facility managers, special programs administrators, and guardians of various legal, contractual, and policy mandates and initiatives. And whereas principals set the academic tone for their schools and work collaboratively with teachers and parents to develop and implement a clear mission, high curriculum standards, and performance goals. And whereas principals play a vital role in the success of students by creating school environments that generate great teaching and learning, as well as continuous school improvement. And whereas much of the success of pre-K through 12 students can be attributed to principals who act as the liaison between the school and the community it serves, ensuring that its parents and the community are aware of student and school achievements. And whereas whereas the celebration of Principals Month honors elementary, middle, and high school principals and recognizes the importance of school leadership in ensuring every child has success to a high-quality education. And whereas during this month, we join educators, parents, and students throughout Michigan to raise awareness of the importance of educational leadership and recognize and thank the hardworking principals in Anchor Bay schools who set exemplary standards of service. Now, therefore, the Anchor Bay Board of Education do hereby proclaim October 2025 as Principals Month. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve this resolution as it has been read to you.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Knox, supported by Mr. Powers. Comments, questions, or concerns? I would only say, through my interactions with actually almost every principal this year, making the way around the elementary schools, I appreciate what they do for us and what they do for our parents and our students, and obviously fully support the resolution as it has been read. If there are no other comments, questions, or concerns, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on down to the next item is the policy second reading concerning policy 4003, employee salary schedules. The recommended action is that the Board of Education approve the policy update for policy 4003, employee salary schedules. And it's early yet. Wait till you see me later. Attached to your board packet is that second reading. And again, these are policy updates recommended by our attorneys, Miller Johnson, who assist us in making sure we're in compliance with the law and contractually responsible. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the policy in its second reading that we've done here tonight?
I'll make the motion.
I'll support.
Motion by Ms. Knox, supported by Mr. Vinatelli. Comments, questions, or concerns? Hearing none. Why don't we go ahead and, since it's a policy change, go ahead and call the roll, if you would, sir?
Sure. Ms. Knox,
Yes.
Mr. Vinatelli,
Yes.
Mr. Sunnyberger,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Richards, yes. Mr. Green,
Yes. Motion carries. Let's move on to item 4, talk about some field trips. The first field trip is DECA. DECA will be traveling to Michigan State University November 13th and 14th for the DECA State Leadership Summit. They will be taking 16 students with 2 chaperones. The recommended action is that the Board of Education approve the DECA field trip to travel November 13th and 14th for the DECA State Leadership Summit. And attached to the recommendation is the application from Mr. Yono, who is the sponsor and will be participating on the trip. I would entertain a motion at this time to that effect.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Sunnyberger, supported by Ms. Knox. Comments, questions, or concerns?
is Mr. Yono one of the 2 chaperones, or is there 2 chaperones and Mr. Yono?
Typically, he will be one of those.
Okay.
So that gives us that 2, 1 to 8.
Yes.
Which kind of puts, I think we've kind of decided informally that
Mhm.
1 to 10 is where we really want to stay. So I think we've met that. Any other comments, questions, or concerns? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? All right, off to East Lansing for DECA. Second trip is actually DECA again, a field trip for their ultimate DECA power trip. DECA will be traveling to Washington DC November 20th and 23rd for the ultimate DECA power trip. They will be taking 20 students with 2 chaperones. The recommended action is that the Board of Education approve DECA to travel November 20th through 23rd, 2025 to Washington DC for the ultimate DECA power trip. Also attached to that request is Mr. Yono's field trip request. Again, indicating it looks like we've got a 1 to 10 ratio, which we've talked about. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve this field trip.
Make that motion.
I'll support.
Motion by Mr. Vinatelli, supported by Ms. Knox. Comments, questions, or concerns?
The only question I had was, it says that they're renting buses, but then it says American Airlines. Is there a bus service called American Airlines as well? Are they flying or taking a bus?
I think they take a bus to the airport and then go from there.
So they are flying?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and I think I have conversations with Mr. Yono. They take a charter bus to the airport, fly, hop on a bus that kind of moves them around Washington DC as opposed to, Ubering or taxiing or anything like that. I thought your question was going to be, when will our DECA students actually be in class? But that's not where you went, so I won't go there either. Any other comments or questions? And by the way, Mr. Yono, you're probably out there listening. If you're not here, I don't see you. You do a great job with the DECA, so I don't winning awards and competing nationally. So I don't think the board has any problems, supporting you in those ventures. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, well, here's one that may require some chaperones. This is our dance team going to Florida. Our dance team Florida trip, team trip is February 5th through 8th, 2026, staying at the Hyatt Regency in Orlando. Students will fly 1 parent with their own air flight choice. 14 students, 2 coaches, and parents. The recommended action is that the Board of Education approve the dance team trip to Florida on February 5th through 8th, 2026.
Bless you.
I would entertain a motion to that effect.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All right, a motion by Ms. Knox, supported by Mr. Powers. Comments, questions, or concerns? No volunteers. It's Florida in February.
Bless you.
All right. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, off goes the dance team to Florida. Next up is item 5, a change order. Much to Mr. Power's chagrin, we're going to talk about Asphalt High School parking lots. The rationale, ASI is experiencing ASI is experiencing substantially soft subgrades that need to be addressed to provide a suitable base for paving and ensure a lasting repair in the sections under repair and the band lot at the high school. During ASI's first attempt to mill out the pavement, their equipment began breaking through the existing pavements, leading them to remove more of the pavement with an excavator. ASI has removed the existing pavement. However, the area will need to be excavated to 12 inches depth and additional material will be needed to provide a proper base. The additional cost for this project is $29,300. The recommended action is that the Board of Education approve the change order for asphalt specialists as stated in the amount of $29,300. I would entertain a motion to that effect.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Knox, supported by Mr. Sunnyberg. Comments, questions, or concerns?
So this is the pad outside the band, which was already degrading, and then we were,
Yes.
okay, so this is not a surprise necessarily.
The extra 29,000 was probably not planned because of the
Right,
quality of the parking lot.
right.
But it is that fenced area at the north end of the high school.
Yeah, I know it was very degraded, so.
So when they came out for their initial inspection,
was
did they
something
not
bad.
do an accurate inspection based off of where we are today?
Normally you check and Corey can actually tell you, but they'll check like certain areas, but then you come up with, there's just sections that are worse than what you imagined, but they can tell you.
Brian, I think you have a question. I'm going to turn it over to Corey and then we'll come back to you.
Good evening. I asked Jared from ASI to join me tonight because I'm not the asphalt expert and I wasn't on site, so he can answer your questions a little better.
Perfect. Thank you. Welcome. Could you just state your name for the record?
Yeah, name is Jared Klubba, manager over at Asphalt Specialists. So to answer your question, we did go out there and look at the existing pavements. The best way to kind of explain this is you really don't know what that subgrade looks like underneath that pavement until you either get equipment on it or remove that off so we can, what we call perform a proof roll, which tells you if it's suitable, strong enough to support equipment and a full load of concrete and everything to drive over top of it, or everything's going to sink. So the reason why you need to pull out that base and resupply it with a suitable stone material to take down the compaction and also support the equipment that's going to be driving on top of it is the paver works on augers with a screed on top. So if that equipment sinks, the augers are going to sink into the existing subgrade as it starts mixing that asphalt to segregate the aggregates and also the liquid to give you a clean surface. Is going to suck that stone and existing material up into your mix, which is just going to mix in dirt, stone, and a lot of debris in your pavement, which is going to cause a lot of issues entirely, and it's not something that would last. So to kind of answer your question, we did go out and look at it, but until you kind of get out there and start working with it and start driving equipment on it, we did utilize the mills, which is usually a more conventional way to pull this material out to give you a even removal surface versus using excavators with teeth to kind of keep it cleaner. Our mills began falling through the pavement and actually sinking. So we had to kind of go through the other route to make sure that we could actually get a full look at the sub base.
Mr. Powers.
We just did this in August and it was a less than desirable bid because we only had one person bid and it was a contractor that we had never dealt with as a school district. So to answer your question, it's a $29,300 prize. So it, you know, do we remember, I don't have in front of me what the original bid contract was for. So the $29,300 is on top of what? Does anybody have that handy?
Corey would probably know. What was the original approved amount?
I want to say it was just under $60,000. is what
So
I'm
it's about
remembering.
50% of the original price we're now tacking on top of this. And there's no way in the inspection due diligence phase of putting a bid package together to check for what's underneath the asphalt to know whether or not this is going to be a surprise. He's saying that there's no way to do this?
The lesson I learned was to make sure we had contingency built into those bids, and because when you're dealing with construction, you don't know what you're going to find until you open things up. So that was a lesson learned on my part, is to make sure that we do have some of that built in, like we do for our normal construction projects, where, you know, we likely wouldn't have had to come back and ask, you know, for you guys to approve.
To
this
Mr.
amount.
Power's point, though, we never would have built in a contingency of 50%.
No, it
Construction standard
probably
10, right?
10 or 20, right? 10
Yeah.
with construction usually.
And I think what bothers me is, I drove back there, prior to the school year starting, because usually band practices back there. And I'm not an asphalt expert, but I could definitely tell you through my experience dealing with asphalt that I knew that it wasn't gonna be a simple coating. So it disappoints me that, we're back here today adding money onto the initial bid for what I felt as, just walking around, seeing the ruts caused by construction equipment, with the construction updates that we have at the school, that a professional can't recognize those, those issues, walking to do an assessment.
Sure.
So that's-
I don't think we ever intended it to be just, a coating. We were always going to take up some of the sub base and, and it put more down, but it just needed to be deeper than what they had thought.
So I don't know, maybe the board has learned a little bit of a hard lesson, me included. Maybe we don't approve bids if there's only one. Nothing against this gentleman and his company, but if we can't get that second competitive bid, perhaps we don't award it. It's just something to think about. Not anything we have to make a formal policy on, but certainly be careful.
No, I agree. The bond's great. We're doing all these exciting things and I know we're trying to go fast to get ahead of tariffs and inflation and all these other things, but I also think we need to be deliberate and recognize that if we only have, and maybe this was inevitable, maybe no matter who bid it, we were going to be here. I'm not calling into question anybody's character or honesty in the bidding process, but there's a reason why it's standard practice to solicit multiple bids. And I think we just need to, and when I say we, I include myself because I voted for the original bid back in August. We as a board need to be willing to pump the brakes when it warrants, when we're not comfortable with what we have in front of us. And this is, to your point, a good lesson learned.
I think that's fair enough.
I'd like to just clarify too, the one bid. So we had reached out to several. And when I did not get more than the one bid, I did reach back out and the answer I was given was they were subcontracting through ASI. So they could not have been competitive.
Anyone else? Any other comments? Okay, can you remind me who made the motion and who? seconded it?
Ms. Knox and Mr. Sunnyberger.
All right, Ms. Knox, Mr. Sunnyberger. Any other comments or questions or concerns before we move on
Yeah,
this?
One quick, there are industry associations, construction associations sorry, I'm trying to weave between the two. You guys are good. You guys are good. Appreciate it. There are industry organizations like for example, the Construction Association of Michigan, CAM. They have a whole list of all different types of professions of different companies that do all these different trades. I think if we can't find somebody, if they're going to subcontract out to ASI, we should start making calls to other different companies within Michigan until we get at least 3 companies that can perform an actual successful bid.
And they were also posted on the, Sigma state website. So, I mean, it goes to multiple vendors.
Yeah.
And then we reach out to local ones that we've also dealt with in the past as well.
Yeah. So I
Just
actually
another
have,
tool to add to the tool belt.
I'm familiar with the Sigma process. A lot of companies avoid it because it is kind of a pain at times. It's much easier just to be in the private market. So if it's worthwhile, then we can call out these companies and sort of encourage them to bid. That might get them over the next step because they might think like, instead of having this wide field of competitors, after they go through all these hurdles, they can just go through these hurdles and expect there to be a competitive process for them to be able to actually spend their time valuably.
Okay.
Anyone else? Anything else? We'll move to a roll call vote on this, sir.
Sure. Ms. Knox,
Yes.
Mr. Sunnyberger,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Mr. Vinatieri,
Yes.
Richards is a no, Mr. Green,
Yes. Motion carries. On to the next award recommendation is for Naldrit's Heat Exchanger. Anchor Bay School District has received 3 quotes to replace a heat exchanger at Naldrit. It is the recommendation to award the heat exchanger to Mechanical System Services in the amount of $29,750. Mechanical System Services is a preferred vendor in district and has continually provided outstanding service. So the recommendation is that the Board of Education approve the contract to Mechanical System Services as stated in the amount of $29,750 as presented. I would entertain a motion to that effect.
Moved.
Seconded.
All right, motion by Mr. Powers, supported by Mr. Vandatelli. Comments, questions, or concerns?
3 competitive bids. We checked them all for qualifications, their past work history. They're all obviously competent, able to perform their work safely.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyone else? Call the roll if you would, sir.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Mr. Vinatieri,
Yes.
Mr. Sunnyberger,
Yes.
Richards, yes, Ms. Knox,
Yes.
and Mr. Green.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 3 on our agenda is a closed session for student discipline. Is your first? Did I skip 7? I missed something? Volunteer appeal. I'm so sorry. Item 7, I guess I'm just in a hurry to get to the closed session, is as part of our recent policy update, we instituted an appeal process for those parents who wish to volunteer or accompany students on field trips. Current practice is to hold parents to the same restrictions that the state places on district employees. The appeal process will allow each parent to speak about their appeal for 5 minutes and the board will vote on the appeal. Tonight, we have one appeal from parent A. If parent A wants to approach the podium, you have 5 minutes to state your case. I think for the purposes of having it in the record, I would ask that you do read it at this point.
Okay. Sorry, I've never been to these things before, so I guess I didn't check in with the right person. Okay. Good evening. I want to start this off by thanking you for giving me this chance to speak on my behalf. I am here tonight. Excuse me. I am here tonight because I have tried getting put on the approved volunteer list for my kids' school at Naldra Elementary. I was denied the request because of a charge on my background record. I was charged back in 2013 with a domestic violence with my boyfriend at that time. There is truly no excuse for my actions then, and I took my consequences for those actions. I was young, 19 years old when this occurred, and had no children. I am now 32 with a 9, 8, 6, and 10-month-old. I take pride in how I have changed my life around and bettering myself for me and my children and doing some growing up. It breaks my heart that this charge is holding me back from being able to be there for my children at school functions and field trips. I am asking here tonight, I am here tonight not asking you to look past what I have done, but see that I am just a mom trying to not let my past define who I am now and be there for my kids during their fun memories at school. I've always tried to be a hands-on mom. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, does the board have any questions or comments? Okay, here, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Um, Depending on the outcome today, if you come before the board again, my personal opinion or suggestion would be to take actions regarding the 2020 incident. I think that may be, for me, that's what held me back previously.
Okay.
Some sort of progress, some sort of growth may be helpful.
Absolutely.
Any other questions of parent A? Okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to either approve or not approve the volunteer appeal from parent A.
To be clear, from a parliamentary standpoint, no motion at all means no action is taken, and that simply means that the appeal goes away, right? We're not required to deny the appeal, right? We
believe we need an active process here to either approve or not approve. The way our policy.
We are
is written.
required to do one or the other?
Yes, sir, I believe that's accurate. So again, at this time, I would entertain a motion from the board to either approve or not approve the volunteer appeal from parent A.
I will motion to approve parent A.
I'll second.
All right, I've got a motion by Mr. Vendatelli, supported by Mr. Sunnyberger. Comments, questions, or concerns?
I will make one quick comment. It's typically more comfortable. Yeah, I love the people that come here, and I think it's great that there's a lot of participation. But for parent A's confidentiality, it's more comfortable for us. Obviously, if there's less eyes kind of prying in. I'm not trying to memorize anybody's name. To me, this individual will always be parent A. But we have to make decisions based on the district as a whole. For me personally, I'm not comfortable with parent A being a volunteer in the district, so I intend to vote no.
So your motion is to approve?
Yeah, just to kind of get the
To
conversation.
get the
going.
ball rolling?
Yeah.
Understood.
Essentially.
Any other comments or questions?
I'll just reiterate what I had just said about you, if you need to come back, coming with further proof specifically for me for the 2020. Okay, it's not the
Absolutely.
2013 or
Absolutely.
whatever it was.
Anyone else? Okay, if you would call the roll, sir.
Mr. Vinatieri,
No.
Mr. Sunnyberger,
No.
Mr. Powers.
No.
Mr. Richards is a yes. Ms. Knox
No.
and Mr. Green.
No. All right, unfortunately, your appeal has been denied.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
All right, now we will move on to the closed session. Back to my original question, Superintendent Jankowski, is the first party that we want to talk to here? Are they physically here for their hearing? Because I believe if they're not, that moves it to a public hearing. Am I correct?
Yeah, there's people.
I'm sure there is. Apologize for the delay. We'll be just a second while we see if any of our folks are here.
Closed session. I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda and move up item 4, which is our other items of discussion up ahead of closed session so we can get that out of the way and have less to do after closed session.
All right, you'd like to move board points of pride and board committee update up before we go into closed session. Do I have a second for that?
I'll second.
All right, motion by Mr. Powers, supported by Mr. Vinatelli. Comments, questions, or concerns? Hearing none. Sir.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Mr. Vinatieri,
Yes.
Mr. Sunnyberger,
Yes.
Richards, yes. Ms. Knox.
Yes.
And Mr. Green.
Yes. All right, that motion carries, so I will move the closed session to after other. And obviously, the first topic on the other category is board points of pride. I will start with you, Mr. Sunnyberger, if you've got anything for us today.
I guess I'll just go real quick. I was at the board office this morning and I peeked into the meeting of the student, what, student council, student Congress. And it was a great group of future leaders sitting at that board table. I asked them what they wanted, what was on their mind, what kind of issues they wanted to get behind. And they gave me two interesting things. One of the things was, they're both cell phone related, but one, if we can't have cell phones in class, can we at least listen to music when we're doing our schoolwork, if our teacher lets us? And I thought that was interesting. I personally could never do that, but they can, and they want the opportunity to do that. I thought that was interesting. And the other thing they want is, sometimes you need to communicate with your cell phone. They were wondering if there was a way that we could find a way to communicate, but not get in trouble with that cell phone, like maybe go to the office or something like that. Oh, and the third thing they wanted was,
You said 2.
I know,
All right.
I'm amending my 2. The third thing they wanted was an advisory hour. I thought that was interesting too.
Like for what purpose? What would they expect to happen in that advisory hour?
Advisory hour, probably get their homework done, the studious ones,
Okay.
and get help on the classes that they're needing help with.
Sounds like it might be something for the policy committee to take up.
I think you guys might have some issues come before you, yeah.
Anything else, sir?
Oh, the band finished up. Go band.
Mr. Powers.
Just congratulating the boys soccer team. They won their district. I believe, I read that it was their 6th straight trip to the district finals and the 3rd time winning it in the last 6 years. So they've been on a nice run. Unfortunately, I believe they lost their regional semi to Troy, but it was still a good run through the playoffs for them. And then just really would like to commend Todd and Robin and everybody in our finance department. These audits are good. Our financial position is good. We've come a long way from the dark days of 2019 and 2020, and it's put us in a great position to do a lot of exciting things. So I'd like to thank them for that.
Mr. Vinatelli?
I'll make mine fairly quick. Had the opportunity to go visit the Anchor Bay Shoreliner, the new restaurant that was just recently opened. Delicious food, great setup. Even had the chance to take a look around the kitchens, and it's one of those things that's very easy to miss for a lot of restaurants. If they don't have the K-type fire extinguisher. K-type is obviously the type that is used to put out grease. If you use water on a grease fire, it's a very bad situation. I wouldn't recommend it. So good on them for having all the proper health and safety checks and having a great restaurant. That's all I got.
Ms. Knox?
I'll echo the same thing Mr. Power said about our financial position. I know when I came on the board in 2021 actually is when I started, it was dire. So it's been great to see such a quick turnaround, especially with everything else that's been going on. It's not just been the financial piece, it's been curriculum, it's been hiring a new superintendent. It's been a lot. So I appreciate that.
Mr. Richards?
This will be real quick, Mr. Green.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Thank you. It's all right. Congratulations to the Anchor Bay Middle School cross-country boys and girls team who both placed second at the MAC Red Division Championship. Anchor Bay is looking for high school afternoon and midnight custodians. If you know anyone interested, have them apply online. Anchor Bay Middle School North 5th and 6th grade walkathon was a huge success. Altogether, they made history and broke a record, raising $32,000. Thank you to the students, parents, and the community. October is National Principal Month. I'd like to thank all of our principals and assistant principals for everything they do for our district. We are looking for SAC caregivers. Starting pay is $16.50 and hours are 6 to 9 in the morning and 3:30 to 6 p.m. after school. 4th through 6th grade junior hoops is starting on November 4th at the high school. If interested, please reach out to Coach Teedy. I sadly missed the ribbon cutting at the Shoreliner. Congratulations to everyone involved, and I look forward to attending some more events there, or some events there, I should say. Congratulations to Middle School North 6th grade students of the month, Andrew Mahey, Briella Cook, Freddie Sturzer, Genevieve Morgan, and 5th graders Emma Hicks, Gracelyn Cozy, and Colleen Warboys. College night is tomorrow at Anchor Bay High School Commons from 6 to 7:30 p.m. All ages are welcome and encouraged to attend. As Mr. Powers mentioned, congratulations to the Anchor Bay varsity boys soccer team on their MHSAA District 18 championship. The Anchor Bay Aquatic Center is hiring lifeguards. If interested, please apply online. Congratulations to the Marching Tires. The students performed at Troy Athens Invitational and earned first place in Class AA with awards for Best Marching, Music, and Auxiliary. They earned their highest score ever, 90.3. Awesome job. More Marching Tire news. The band participated in the MSBOA District 16 Marching Band Festival hosted by Anchor Bay. The Tires earned first division rating in music, marching, and general effects. This marks the 27th consecutive year the Tires have earned the first division rating. Congratulations to Middle School North Captain of the Month, Kelly Moore. Kelly has gone above and beyond for our school community. She has worked tirelessly to get Starbase up and running. Kelly's dedication to her students and colleagues, her incredible support and willingness to help in every way make her truly deserving for this honor. I would like to thank the Girl Scout Troop 77659 that completed a new sensory path and communication board at Lottie. This comes from cookies that I'm sure we've all purchased and sales, cookie sales, and a grant from the Fifth Third Bank. Congratulations to seventh grader Graceland Babcock, who broke the Anchor Bay Middle School 2-mile record with a time of 11 minutes and 13 seconds.
Wow.
Correct. Career Pathway Skill Trades Fair is January 29th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at Anchor Bay High School. And
Did you say 2 miles in 11 minutes?
2 miles and 11.3, I think it was. Congratulations, Greater Grayson Babcock.
Wow.
You have Anchor Bay Middle School 2-mile record with a time of 11 minutes and 13 seconds. And I'd like to notate that he broke the record, like the school record, then he broke his own record.
Broke his own record.
With that record.
Middle school.
That's middle school. So
Those are like just barely over 5-minute miles.
yeah,
That's insane.
he's trucking.
Wow. I do have a couple of things as well. The first thing that I have is congratulations to head coach Williams for the soccer performance, and congratulations to assistant coach Grammons. However, head coach Grammons of the girls team, just want to let you know the pressure's on, and we will not accept anything less of a performance than Coach Williams gave us. So, Mr. Grammons, if you're watching. And I also did attend with Mr. Menatelli and the superintendent. I know I saw some of our administrators there, which I appreciate, was the kickoff of the Shoreliner. The food was great. The kitchen is massive. Our new chef is amazing. She commanded attention and got out and spoke to the group that was there. And then the students that attended actually were even more amazing, because as opposed to, I believe last year, or the previous couple of years, we've had like a buffet line. This was a little bit of a strolling meal, but there were actually servers that were kind of doubling as kitchen help that actually got out from behind the kitchen line and came out and met each of us, very friendly. So I would encourage our students that have any inclination to want to be part of a culinary program. We've got a beautiful new restaurant with a huge new kitchen. I've got a food truck that's only about a year old that is going to start getting utilized substantially more. So if, parents are watching and your kids have some type of kitchen or culinary desire, please sign up for those classes. Like I said, have them tour that end of the building or come in and tour it yourself. I have never seen, to be quite honest with you, a kitchen that big. And I've been in a lot of kitchens in between schools and hospitals and universities and corporations. I have never seen a kitchen that big. I was amazed as I was walking. With that said, the only thing left under other is board committee updates. Is there any update from policy that they wish to share?
No, we did have a policy committee meeting, but nothing that I would bring forward just yet. So
Finance did meet this afternoon, and obviously the bulk of that was discussing with Dan, our auditor, our audit, and our clean recommendation was consumed really the whole time that we had together. Are there any other meetings we need to talk about? All right, hearing none at this time, I will move to a closed session to discuss student discipline. The Board of Education moves to closed session for student discipline pursuant to Open Meetings Act, Section 8B. The recommended action is that the board moves to that closed session for student discipline pursuant to 8B. I would entertain a motion at this time to do so.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Oh, just because you're a referee, you think you understand what the timing of things? Motion by Ms. Knox, supported by Mr. Sunnyberger. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, let's call a roll on this one if we could.
Ms. Knox,
Yes.
Mr. Sunnyberger,
Yes.
Mr. Powers.
Yes.
Mr. Vinatieri,
Yes.
Mr. Richards is a yes. Mr. Green,
Yes. Motion carries. Just a heads up, there will be no other business transacted after these closed sessions except for any action that the board takes in these disciplinary hearings. So if you're waiting to hear something else exciting, that's going to about do it for tonight. So we are going to officially be into a closed session at 8:18 p.m. If the board wants to take 5 or 10 minutes to use the restroom and then reconvene in the board meeting room down the hall, that would be great. Okay. Good morning,
Good morning.
Anchor Bay. We are back from closed session to discuss student discipline. At this time, I would entertain a motion to come back into open session.
I'll make the motion.
I will support.
Any comments, questions, or concerns? Please call the roll.
Ms. Knox,
Yes.
Mr. Vinatieri,
Yes.
Mr. Sunnyberger,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Richards, yes. Green,
Yes. All right, we're officially back into open session at 12:53 a.m. on Thursday. What is today, 23rd now? All right, based on our closed sessions, is any member of the board inclined to make a motion at this time?
I would like to make a motion for student number 14535 to be suspended for 51 days, 30 days of which are being held in abeyance. Student may return on Monday, October 27th. Also, they will need to begin a behavior plan with the principal, have no major infractions, and participate in the My Best program.
Do I have a second for that motion?
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Knox, supported by Mr. Vinatelli. Comments, questions, or concerns? Mr. Secretary, if you call the roll.
Ms. Knox,
Yes.
Mr. Vinatieri,
Yes.
Mr. Sunnyberger,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Richards, yes. Mr. Green,
Yes, motion carries. Moving on.
I would like to make a motion for student number 06353. Student will be suspended and may return on December 1st, 2025. While they are suspended, Anchor Bay will provide an online schooling option for the duration. Upon return, they must have passing grades in all classes. I'm sorry, not upon return. During their suspension, they must be passing or have passing grades in all classes. The board encourages to seek counseling, no negative contact with law enforcement. They are not permitted on school property or at school-sponsored events during the suspension. And upon returning, they will have a re-entry meeting with the building principal or designee and their counselor.
Do I have a second?
No.
No.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Ms. Knox, supported by Mr. Sunnyberger. Comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, sir?
Ms. Knox,
Yes.
Mr. Sunnyberger,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Mr. Vinatieri,
Yes.
Mr. Richards, yes. Mr. Green,
Yes. Motion carries. Continuing on, Ms. Knox, if you're so inclined.
Yes, I would like to make a motion for student number 05881. They will be suspended and return on January 5th, 2026. During their suspension, Anchor Bay will provide an online schooling option. They must be passing or have passing grades in all classes. The board encourages them to seek counseling. They shall have no negative contact with law enforcement. They are not permitted on school property or at school-sponsored events during their suspension. And upon return, they are required to have a reentry meeting with the building principal or designee and their counselor.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Knox, supported by Mr. Sunnyberger. Questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, Mr. Secretary, if you call the roll.
Ms. Knox,
Yes.
Mr. Sunnyberger,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Mr. Vinatieri,
Yes.
Mr. Richards, yes. Mr. Green,
Yes. Motion carries.
I would like to make a motion for student number 14661. Students shall be expelled. They may return March 9th of 2026 during the duration of their expulsion, which is not permanent. Anchor Bay will provide an online schooling option. They must be getting passing grades in all classes. The board encourages the student to seek counseling. No negative contact with law enforcement. They are not permitted on school property or at school-sponsored events during their expulsion. And upon returning March 9th of 2026, they are required to have a reentry meeting with the building principal or designee and their counselor.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Knox, supported by Mr. Vinatelli. Comments, questions, or concerns? Hearing none, Mr. Secretary, could you call the roll, please?
Ms. Knox,
Yes.
Mr. Vinatieri,
Yes.
Mr. Sunnyberger,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Mr. Richards, yes. Mr. Green,
Yes. Motion carries. Does anybody have anything else?
Like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting for the evening, or for the morning, actually.
In the morning? All right. Do I have a support for that?
Yes.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Good morning.